Hello, everybody. Today is day 109, and we're reading from 1 Samuel 28 through 31 with a passage from Psalms 13. Now, today's reading discloses the tragic end of King Saul's life and his sons, and it is a pitiful sight. Saul's being attacked by the Philistines. It's a tragic war. The numbers are massive, and Samuel the prophet is dead. There's no one that is the spiritual leader of the nation, and Saul has really no one to turn to, and Saul's absolutely terrified. The Bible says that his heart trembles because of what he sees happening, the disadvantage they are, and the massive army of the Philistines. So Saul seeks God, but God's not answering him, neither in dreams nor through the Urim or the prophets. God is absolutely silent and has been for some time, for God has departed. This is what it appears, but we know this specifically when Samuel walks away from Saul. He knew that God had ripped the nation out of his hand and had laid his spirit upon another. Evil spirit had taken his place. Now Saul gets desperate here, and he seeks out a witch, a medium, a spiritualist, one who calls up, or supposedly calls up, the dead. Though we know that this cannot happen. Even Jesus identifies this by saying that there is this wall, this breach between this world and that world, a gulf of which neither can we go there nor they can come here. So, but anyways, a spiritualist, one who supposedly calls up the dead, and this being strictly forbidden by God. And the reason is because it is a demonic, it's an evil thing. You will open yourselves up to the dark side. But God's not answering Saul. And as usual, King Saul becomes very desperate. He disguises himself, and his request is that they would find a witch, and that he might ask them to this witch to bring up or conjure up the prophet Samuel. Now, this is demon power, and one must watch very closely on this, because many people have been not only deceived by this, but they've used this passage of means by which to justify the pursuit of talking up the dead. And we've heard of people who said, hey, listen, I talked to, someone brought up my dead relative, and I talked with him, and then it was her voice or his voice, and they knew things that only that person would know. Well, I want to clarify something here. You see, this being brought up in this situation is not Samuel. So just be very clear on this. It is not Samuel. It's what the Bible calls a familiar spirit. That is a demon that impersonates another person and thereby seduces or deceives that individual into believing that they're actually talking to the relative or talking to the person they're asking for. But here's what happens. There are four problems with this being Samuel. First of all, God had already refused to talk to Saul. And so for him to go around by that which he had forbidden and considered an abomination would be inconsistent and incompatible with God. Secondly, he's not going to work through a witch. And we know that, that the Bible gives clear warnings about doing something like this, but God's not going to unite with demon power. Thirdly, Samuel, the Bible says, spirit ascends out of the earth. Now we know that normally the Bible talks about hell being in the lower depths and paradise, the bosom of Abraham, that this is from above. And then he's an old man, at least the spirit that is brought up, he sees is portrayed as an old man, and he's very troubled. Listen, when you and I go to paradise, when we go to heaven, we'll be removed from this world. We're not going to be worried about this world. We're going to be changed to a different person. We don't remain as we are in that intermittent state. We have wonderful bodies. Now, this spirit is seducing and harassing Saul, and he's opened himself up to demonic powers. And you and I must remove all opportunities of giving a foothold to the enemy. The Bible says, don't give the devil a foothold. Now, I want you to note the contrast between Saul and David. You'll see that Saul disobeys God repeatedly, consistently. And when he's in a pinch, then he will seek out God with great desperation. David, though, sought for God's direction daily, continuously. Before he would even move forward, he always sought God. Now, look in Psalms 18. And you'll see that it beautifully shows how he was reliant upon David, or how David was relying upon God, and his love and his praise and his absolute adoration for God and his dependence upon God. In this same passage that we're just reading, David seeks God as to whether he should retaliate and fight the Amalekites, and God answers him and said, go. And David obeys in God's timing, and David wins. The tragic end of Saul and his sons, a king who started out well, whom God had intended would have a great kingdom, became proud and self-centered, disobeyed God. God's spirit departed, evil spirits entered in. He sought out demonic powers through a witch. God brought his throne to a tragic conclusion, and this becomes a warning for all of us to beware of deception of the lower nature, the flesh, deception of demon and dark powers, and that we must be like David, fully, wholeheartedly devoted to God and seeking him daily in our lives.